Good afternoon, classmates, and also to you, ma'am. Good afternoon. I am Champagne G. Ayuban, the second reporter for today. And my topic is all about Lesson 19 Biotic Factors in an Intertidal Zone and Estuarine Ecosystem. But before we proceed in my discussion, I will read first the learning objectives. The first one is identify and differentiate between common biotic factors found in intertidal zones and estuarine ecosystem. The second one is explain the complex relationships between biotic factors in intertidal zones and estuarine ecosystems. The third one is appreciate the importance of preserving the biodiversity and ecological balance of intertidal zones and estuarine ecosystems. What is biotic? When we say biotic, means pertaining to life. A factor is something that influences another thing. So, a biotic factor, put simply, is a living thing that affects other things. Examples: plants, animals, and microorganisms living in it. We all know what biotic is, right? According to the book, it means living things. But I will add some more explanation about biotic. It refers to all living organisms in an ecosystem, including plants, animals, fungi, and microorganisms. These living components interact with each other and with their physical environment, playing essential roles in ecological processes such as energy flow, nutrient cycling, and food webs. Biotic factors influence the structure and dynamics of ecosystems, affecting species populations and community interactions. What is intertidal zone? When we say intertidal zone, the area where the ocean meets the land between high and low tides. The intertidal zone is where the ocean meets the shore between low tide and high tides. It is subject to frequent fluctuations in water level temperature, salinity, and oxygen levels. Organisms that live in the zone may go from being completely covered with water to dry over the course of the day. While these conditions are quite challenging, they also bring advantages like ample food, frequent influxes of nutrients and oxygen, and abundant sunlight for plants and algae. What is estuarine ecosystem? Means these are areas where both ocean and land contribute to a unique ecosystem. According to my research, estuaries and their surrounding wetlands are bodies of water usually found where rivers meet the sea. Estuaries are home to unique plant and animal communities that have adapted to brackish water, a mixture of fresh water draining from the land and salty seawater. The relationship between the intertidal zone and estuarine ecosystem is that are closely linked, sharing a dynamic relationship influenced by tidal fluctuations and the mixing of fresh water and salt water. They are both important habitats that support a diversity of life and play crucial roles in coastal ecosystems. There are biotic factors found in the intertidal zone and estuarine ecosystems. The first one is coral reefs, are the areas of estuaries which part of the subtidal zone where biodiversity is rich. Biodiversity refers to the abundance of different living organisms living in an area. Coral reefs provide shelter to thousands of fish. The corals themselves are animals that feed on plankton. These corals form reefs that protects the coast from strong waves and currents. However, coral reefs are very sensitive. An abrupt change in water temperature may cause death to sea animals. Meaning to say, this refers to the variety of life forms in a given area. Coral reefs are known for their high biodiversity, meaning they have a wide range of different species living together. These are marine animals that build reefs. They are tiny creatures that live in colonies and secrete a herd. stony substance that forms the reef structure. Corals obtain their food by filtering plankton from the water. Coral reefs act as natural barriers, protecting coastlines from the destructive force of waves and currents. This helps to prevent erosion and damage to coastal areas. Coral reefs provide a complex habitat for a diverse array of marine life. They offer shelter, food, and breeding grounds for thousands of species of fish, invertebrates, and other organisms. Coral reefs are very sensitive to changes in their environment. Factors such as pollution, overfishing, and climate change can have detrimental effects on coral health. In particular, sudden changes in water temperature, often caused by climate change related to events like El Nino, can lead to coral bleaching and death. The second one is salt marshes, are areas in the estuary that are filled with seawater during high tides and are drained during low tides. They are marshy because they are filled with decomposing plant matter. Organisms found in salt marshes are clams, mussels, oysters, crabs, snails, and shrimps. Plants found in salt marshes are sea grasses and other plants that are tolerant of salt water. Salt-tolerant plants are called halophytes. Salt marshes are unique environments that thrive at the interface of fresh water and salt water. Their ability to withstand fluctuating salinity levels and provide habitat for various organisms makes them valuable coastal ecosystems. The plants found in salt marshes are called halophytes, which are plants adapted to tolerate high salt concentration. The third one is mud flats, or tidal flats are areas in estuaries where mud from the seas or rivers is deposited. They are usually the areas for migratory birds, crabs, sand dollars, mussels, clams, mollusks, shellfish, and some fish. Algae like sea lettuce and sea spaghetti provide food for the herbivorous in this area. When we say mud flats are dynamic environments that support a diverse range of organisms. Their unique conditions, including soft mud and tidal fluctuations, make them valuable coastal habitats. The fourth one is rocky shores, are areas in estuaries where solid rocks are found. Animals found in the rocky shores are plankton, brittle stars, starfish, hermit crab, barnacles, limpets, mollusks, periwinkle, shore crabs, shrimps, and prawns. Since many of the organisms in rocky shores are herbivores, seaweeds provide food for them. Large predators in the rocky shores are fish and migratory birds. Rocky shores are coastal ecosystems characterized by solid rock, substrates, and rugged terrain, typically found in areas exposed to strong wave action. These environments support a diverse array of marine life, including various algae barnacles, mussels, sea stars, and other organisms adapted to withstand harsh conditions. The structure and stability provided by the rocks create habitats that promote biodiversity and offer essential ecosystem services, such as coastal protection and nutrient cycle. The last one is mangrove forest. Mangrove forests are areas in the estuary that are filled with mangrove trees. These trees have adapted to salt water. Mangroves protect the coast against erosion caused by waves, winds, and tides. They also protect coral reefs and seagrass beds from silting or deposition of sand. Mangrove forests are also breeding grounds for different kinds of fish and shellfish. Other organisms found in the mangrove ecosystems are algae, barnacles, oysters, shrimps, and lobsters. In short, mangrove forests are important ecosystems that provide numerous benefits to coastal communities. They are crucial for protecting coastlines, preserving marine habitats, and supporting biodiversity. The preservation of biodiversity and ecological balance in intertidal zones and estuarine ecosystems is essential for maintaining the health of our planet. It ensures the resilience of these ecosystems, supports livelihoods, and protects coastal communities from environmental threats. Efforts to conserve and restore these critical habitats are vital for future generations, emphasizing the interconnectedness of all life forms and the environment.